Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Let's get into the mantra before we get started. The show will start momentarily. Happy New Year. Today is the first day that the market is open of 2026. Today is January 2nd, 2026. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be rich. I deserve to be wealthy. I deserve to be free. The more you learn, the more you earn. Thereby, the more you earn, the more you learn. I'm a certified Wall Street trapper. I'm confident in my abilities to make great investments. The stock market is a machine, and I am more than capable of operating this machine. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Good morning, good afternoon. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you're tuning in from around the globe, welcome to the $1 Trillion Tickers broadcast, and welcome to the $1 Trillion Tickers family. This is a live market breakdown covering the $1 trillion stocks, SPX, the NASDAQ 100, SPY, and QQQ. We will cover pre-market levels, opening bell moves, headlines that move the market and or are associated with our $1 trillion tickers. We'll be looking at charts, checking out Bitcoin and Ethereum levels, and some motivation along the way. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. This is for education and entertainment only. Always do your own research, but you can use this show as a foundation. Let's get into it. All right, so when I talk about these $1 trillion tickers, I'm talking about these $1 trillion companies, y'all. The companies, the most valuable companies on the planet. Let's get into it. NVIDIA, 4.5 trillion. Apple, 4 trillion. Google, 3.7 trillion. Microsoft, 3.5 trillion. Amazon, 2.4 trillion. Meta, 1.66 trillion. AVGO, 1.64 trillion. TSM, 1.5 trillion. That's 1.57 trillion for TSM. Tesla, 1.49 trillion. And Berkshire Hathaway, $1 trillion, y'all. All right, let's get into these pre-market levels. So the pre-market low. Why is it showing Friday? Is today Friday? Today is Friday. I'm tripping, y'all. Today is Friday. I'm like, what the heck? Yeah, because the market was closed yesterday, so it's throwing me off. Anyway, all right. Friday, January 2nd, 2026. Pre-market low for SPX is 6,875. And the pre-market high is 6,892. And the NASDAQ 100 pre-market low 25,431, pre-market high 25,563. All right, let's check out our $1 trillion tickers. Pre-market low 188.39, pre-market high 139.27. As you can see, I changed the colors of my candles. We have gold to the upside and blue to the downside for our colors. All right, Apple, pre-market low, 272.80. Pre-market high, 247 even. Google, pre-market low, 315.75. Pre-market high, 318. Microsoft, pre-market low, 485. Pre-market high, 487.15. Amazon pre-market low, 232, pre-market high, 233.49. Meta pre-market low, 663.05, pre-market high, 666.13. AVGO pre-market low, 350.16, pre-market high, 352.45. Tesla pre-market low, 454.51, pre-market high, 462.50. TSM pre-market low, 308, pre-market high, 313. Berkshire.B pre-market low, 501, pre-market high, 503.13. And the VIX is currently at 1477. Now let's check out our ETFs. Pre-market low, 683.87, pre-market high, 686.70. QQQ pre-market low, 619, pre-market high, 621.41. As you can see, the pre-market open had a very large bullish candle to the upside, and it has since consolidated and is now heading back to the downside. All right, let's check out some news. While we check out the news, I'm going to put this display on the charts. These are 8 different charts. They are the 8 most valuable companies in the world. The left top hand corner is going to be NVIDIA. To the right, Apple, Google, Microsoft. And then the bottom row to the left is Amazon, Meta, AVGO, and TSM. So let's get into some news. So I saw this on bar chart, right? And it has some bears. So I'm streaming live right now on YouTube and also on TikTok. If you would like to see my full screen, then you have to go to my YouTube live, because on TikTok I'm just showing my screen off my phone, but it doesn't show the whole thing. So if you want to see the whole screen, you got to go to my YouTube live. It's the same tag, Matt Riches 510 AI Music. Okay, so this graphic is from Bar Chart. It says, "Thanks for nothing, Santa." And it has all these bulls that have lumps of coal in their Christmas stockings. Because we did not have a Santa Claus rally this year, y'all. We did not. It did nothing but chop sideways for the whole freaking end of the year week. All right, so our next, this motivation comes from Earn Your Leisure's Rashad and Ian Dunlap, the master investor.
The number one rule in life, as far as building wealth, is to keep your expenses low while your income increases. The gap in between your expenses and your income, that's the money that's what you call discretionary income. That's money that you can invest. That's just like 101. The problem is that most people, as they make more money, their expenses go up as well.
The lifestyle is real.
Very few people are going to keep their expenses at the same level while their income is going up crazy. Their expenses are going to go up crazy as their income goes up crazy. The problem with that is that you don't really have enough money to invest, to really get out the game. You might have money to invest, but you don't have enough money to invest to get out the game. And God forbid your income goes down. Now you're in one of these cycles, right? So all of the entrepreneurs, all the hustlers that's on the come up, that's something to consider. That's some game. That's some game for you that you can do what you want with, but just be cautious and be mindful, and don't feel like you have to live up to somebody else's expectations or impress somebody else.
That's real game, y'all. Rashad was dropping real game right there. So they have a show every Monday night. It's called Market Mondays, where they discuss what's going on in the market. So if you want to get some investing advice, I actually watch the show every single week myself. So I appreciate y'all for watching my show, but you could also watch their show if you want more details. And I definitely learned a lot from them, and I've been able to run my bag up very much with the knowledge that they have bestowed upon the community over the years. So Market Mondays, live on YouTube. Shout out to them brothers. Okay, and this is from a coach talking about the ladders of success. Quick 20-second clip.
The first step on the ladders of success is always failure. Most people, immature people don't deal well with failure. And immature people don't understand that it is going to be failure. I tell them, prepare for failure. You're going to fail. We all fail. Figure it out. Nobody's feeling sorry for you.
Man, a real game from the coach right there. Yeah.
The number one rule in life,
you're going to fail on your way up the ladder. Y'all. Every step is not going to be perfect. Yeah, you're going to make some missteps. Sometimes you're going to even take some steps backward. But as long as you don't quit and you keep on going, man, keep on pushing forward, then eventually you'll be successful if you don't get sidetracked too much and you don't get too down on the losses and you don't get too high on the wins. You will be able to continue on the ladder to success. All right, this next piece of news comes from SpaceX. It is adjusting the orbits of thousands of Starlink satellites weeks after a near miss with several Chinese satellites. So them satellites, I don't know how expensive they are. I'm sure they're very expensive, but they almost crashed into some Chinese satellites. So they're going to have to adjust their orbits. There are thousands of them already around the Earth's orbit. So that's that for SpaceX. All right. Market about to open, so let's get ready, y'all. Market open, market open, market open. Let's go, y'all. Let's go. Let's go. The market is open January 2nd, 2026. We are live. Let's check it out. Let's see what our $1 trillion tickers are doing. NVIDIA, it's up almost 2%, 189.90. Apple, it's up almost 0.5% at 273. Google, it's up almost 2% at 318.82. Microsoft is down fractionally at 483.57. Amazon is up almost 1% at 232.77. Meta is up 0.5%. Actually, let me put this on a 1-minute chart so y'all can really see the movement. Okay. AVGO is up over 2% at 353.61. That thing is pushing. Tesla is up almost 2% at 458. TSM is up over 3%. TSM is pushing, y'all. It's up over 3%, 3.5%. That's over $10 right now. It's up to 314.75. Berkshire.B is down almost 1% at 498.50, y'all. The VIX is down 1.5% at 1471. SPY is up 0.5% at 685.60. QQQ is up over 1% at 620.77. SPX is up 0.5% at 6,878. And the NASDAQ 100 is up over 1% at 25,500, y'all. All right, let's get into some more news. So the richest people in the world, y'all. I'm sure you know some of these names. I'm sure there's some that you don't know, but I'm not going to give you this whole list because this is a long list. This is about 25 people. But number 1, Elon Musk, $619 billion. Year to date, up $187 billion. Larry Page, number 2, $269 billion. Year to date, well, I think this is based on 2025 year to date, not year to date, because it is January right now. So I wouldn't say year to date because that would only be 2 days. Now they probably did make billions in 2 days. Just if the stocks is up today right now in these first 3 minutes, but we're not going to count that. We're going to say that's the 2025 year to date. Let me just adjust these charts right quick, so make sure everything is in focus. All right. Number 3, Jeff Bezos, $253 billion, up $14 billion in 2025. Number 4, Sergey Brin, $250 billion, up $91 billion in 2025. Larry Ellison, number 5, $247 billion, up $55 billion in 2025. Number 6, Mark Zuckerberg, $233 billion, up $26 billion in 2025. Bernard Arnault, $208 billion, up $31 billion in 2025. So the first 6 people are all from the United States. Bernard Arnault is the first one that's not from the United States. He's actually out of France. And he's the CEO of LVMH. That's Louis Vuitton, Moet, Hennessy. And they have a lot of companies underneath their umbrella. A lot of probably at least like 50 different clothing brands underneath their umbrella. And you can invest in them if you like. Next, number 8, Steve Ballmer, $168 billion, up $21.9 billion in 2025. Number 9, Jensen Huang, $154 billion, up $40 billion in 2025. Y'all know him, the NVIDIA CEO. And Warren Buffett, $151 billion, up $9 billion in 2025, y'all. So that's the top 10. They did give a top 25, but I'm not going to read all that. Okay, so I did do a live stream yesterday, and I gave the year-to-date performances for a lot of companies, over 100 companies. It was a very long stream. It was actually my longest stream ever. I think it was like 2 hours. And I just covered so many different companies. You know what I mean? So here is a quick list from Twitter of the worst performing NASDAQ stocks in 2025. MicroStrategies, Michael Saylor, negative 47%, y'all. Atlassian, ticker TEAM, down 33%. Copart, ticker TPRT, down 31%. PayPal, down 31%. Marvell, down 23%. Adobe, down 21%. Kraft Heinz, down 21%. Comcast, down 20%. Terrible year for those. Now, I think I have the ones that did great as well. Yes. NVIDIA, 38% to the upside. Apple, 8% to the upside. Decent. Google, 65% to the upside. Microsoft, 14% to the upside. Amazon, 5% to the upside. Very basic. Meta, 12% to the upside. AVGO, 49% to the upside. Tesla 11% to the upside. And Berkshire.B 10% to the upside. Just want to go over that for 2025, y'all. Okay, let's see some more news that we have. Okay, you know, I'm a big tech bull, very bullish because we live in the future. I believe in technology. But I do like to give the news from people who have a bearish outlook. So this next article comes from Market Watch on Twitter, y'all. And it says, these overlooked indicators may say tech stocks may not lead the market in 2026. This article is by veteran strategist Jim Paulson, arguing that tech stocks could relinquish market leadership in 2026 due to subtle signals like stagnant tech giants relative to new era economic spending. Paulson cites declining U.S. corporate cash to GDP ratios, mirroring pauses in past tech bull markets, and a post-2022 breakdown in R&D spending correlation with real GDP growth as evidence of weakening tech momentum. The analyst predicts no imminent crash, but a sector rotation towards value, small cap, or foreign stocks could be on the horizon. That's interesting. That's interesting, y'all. Not everybody is bullish like me, which is good because if everybody's bullish, then it's probably gonna crash. But if we still got some bears, we can still run because you know crashes never happen when everybody thinks it's not gonna crash. I mean, crashes don't happen when everybody thinks it's gonna crash. So it's good that we have those opposing views. Okay, so I thought this was interesting news from Unusual Whales. It says San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie signed a reparations bill on January 23rd, 2025, establishing a fund for $5 million cash payments, debt forgiveness, tax abatements, and income subsidies to eligible black residents harmed by city discrimination, though no public funds are allocated due to a $1 billion budget deficit. The measure, authored by Superior Shaman Walton and passed unanimously by the Board of Supervisors, relies on private donations and faces legal challenges for racial discrimination under the U.S. Constitution, as noted by critics like Pacific Legal Foundation. Local NAACP leaders criticized the $5 million figure as arbitrary and the plan as offering false hope without funding, echoing past failed initiatives like the scandal-plagued Dreamkeeper program under former Mayor London Breed, y'all. Thought that was some interesting news. All right, let's check on the sectors. Let's see how the sectors are doing today, this morning, this new year, y'all. 2026. Let's go. Shout out to everybody on YouTube Live right now. Shout out to everybody on TikTok Live right now. Okay, so the tech sector, XLK, is up 1.25% at 145.72. XLY is up fractionally at 119.56. XLC is down almost 0.25% at 117.48. XLF is down almost 0.5% at 54.50. XLV is down 0.75% at 153.63. XLP is down almost 0.5% at 77.38. XLE is down almost 0.5% at 44.51. XLU is up almost 0.25% at 42.79. XLI is up fractionally at 155.17. And XLRE is down over 0.5% at $40.13, y'all. So the only sectors that are green is technology by a lot, over 1%. And then XLY, consumer discretionary, is barely green, along with industrials, XLI, and XLU is doing okay. It's up almost a little over 0.25%. But everything else is red, y'all. XLC, communications is red, financials is red, healthcare is red, consumer staples is red, energy is red, and real estate is red, y'all. Let's check out the heat map. Y'all. NVIDIA up over 2.5%. Google, same. Google is almost up 2.5%. Apple's up over 1%. Meta's down 0.5%. Microsoft down almost 0.75%. Berkshire.B is down over 1%. JP Morgan, Bank of America, pretty close to break even, y'all, along with BlackRock. Visa, MasterCard, both down over 1%. Visa closer to 2% to the downside. Citibank up 0.25%. Amazon up 1.5%. Walmart up almost 0.5%. Costco down 0.5%. Home Depot down 0.75%. Eli Lilly and Johnson & Johnson both down almost 1.5%. All right. Let's see. Let's check out the Fear and Greed Index for 2026, January 2nd. The Fear and Greed Index is in neutral, y'all. It is headed toward fear. It is at 45. So it is very close to the edge of neutral and fear, y'all. That is the Fear and Greed Index. All right, let's check out some more news, y'all. This is from Unusual Wells on Twitter. It says NVIDIA and AMD reportedly rumored, though unconfirmed, to raise GPU prices starting this month, with the RTX 5090 expected to jump from $2,000 to as much as $5,000, according to Newsys. That's a big jump, man. That's more than 100% jump in price, y'all. So that's probably why. Let's check out AMD and NVIDIA and see how they're doing today. That's probably why they're up, because that is a bullish piece of news. NVIDIA is up over 2.75% right now to 191. And AMD is up 5% on that news. It's up $10. So shout out, man. Shout out to them, man. That's very good news. Okay, our next piece of news comes from Business Insider on Twitter. See how much Walmart pays in 2025 going into 2026, with software engineers earning as much as $286,000. Let's put Walmart on the screen while we talk about their piece of news. Walmart is currently trading at $111.75. I believe it's very close to all-time highs. Let's check the daily. Yeah, the all-time high is 117 and it's currently trading at 111. So you can get Walmart on a discount right now. Not as much discount as I prefer. Let me do a quick check and see how much discount. Yeah, it's 4.8% off the all-time high right now. So that's not enough. I need at least 10% off the all-time high. And to get 10% off the all-time high, I would need Walmart around 105.70, y'all. So I wouldn't buy it right now, but if it dropped down to 105.70 and Walmart is a particular ticker that you are interested in buying, I would at least wait until 105.70, y'all. All right, so let me get into this. Okay, so Walmart's 2025 salary data reveals competitive pay for tech roles, with software engineers topping out at $286,000 base salary, alongside ranges from $99,000 for entry-level positions to $416,000 for senior directors in product management. Compensation structures include base pay, bonuses, and stock awards, benchmarked against industry standards, supporting Walmart's expansion in areas like e-commerce and data analytics. The data coincides with Walmart's increased tech hiring, including over 1,700 H-1B visa applications in early 2025 for software and AI roles, up from prior years to compete with Amazon and others, y'all. So this came out on Twitter from Walter Bloomberg. This is about Trump. Let's see if Trump gives us some comic relief like he normally does. It says, Trump claims he aced the cognitive test. U.S. President Trump said on Truth Social that he's in perfect health, and that the White House doctors reported that he aced his cognitive examination for the third time. He claimed he answered 100% of the questions correctly and asserted that no other president or vice president had been willing to take such a test. Trump added that all candidates for president or vice president should be required to undergo a mandatory cognitive examination. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Trump came through with the comic relief, man. I guarantee he's definitely taking shots at Biden with that tweet. Also, Biden definitely should have been taking them tests so we could have got him up out of that office earlier, y'all. All right, let's check out some of our other stocks that we like to cover. Bitcoin is currently up over 1% at 89,740. IBIT is up over 2.5% at $50.99. Ethereum is back over 3,000, y'all. Can you believe it? Ethereum is back over 3,000. It's up 3% right now. It's $3,096. BMNR is up 5% with Ethereum moving to the upside. BMNR finally seeing some green. It's been getting hammered the last week, definitely. But it's up 5% right now at $28.68. Palantir is up over 0.5% at $178.82. Robinhood is up almost 0.5% at $113.68. Grab is up 2.5% at $512, and XLG is up almost 1%, and it is in the gap, y'all. You see this blue part on the screen here? This is a gap. So once this gap gets filled, I will delete this off the screen to let me know that the gap has been filled, y'all. All right, let's get into some more news. Let me just adjust these charts right quick so you can see all the candles. Matter of fact, now that the market's been open for 20 minutes, let's just go to these 10-minute candles. So every candle is 10 minutes, y'all. It's looking good. Looking bullish. Very bullish for technology this morning so far. Okay, our next piece of news comes from Benzaga. Billionaire entrepreneur Mark Cuban, known for founding multiple companies and owning a stake in the Dallas Mavericks, also starring on Shark Tank, originally planned to retire by 35, y'all. Excuse me. Originally planned to retire by 35. Imagine being able to plan your life out and be like, man, I'm about to run this bag up so soon I will plan my retirement at 35. Wow. That is the ultimate level of focus. After selling his first company, Micro Solutions, for $6 million at age 32, he made $2 million, but couldn't walk away. Then he said, "I'm not retired because I'm too competitive," he said on the Rethinking podcast. His get-rich-quick mindset fueled his drive, but success only made him hungrier to do more. Now he's focused on impact. In 2022, he launched the Mark Cuban Cost Plus drug company to disrupt the pharmaceutical industry by offering affordable, transparent pricing through an online pharmacy. As a public benefit corporation, its mission is to improve public health, not just profit. Today, Cuban says, "Money doesn't drive him like it used to. The marginal value of my next dollar is de minimis. My decision making is completely different." All right. Shout out to Mark Cuban, man. This next piece of news that I found interesting was from Forbes. It says, AI bathroom monitors. Welcome to America's new high surveillance schools. This article exposes AI audio devices like Motorola's Halo in Beverly Hills High school bathrooms, designed to detect cries for help or gunshots without storing recordings, amid 49 school gunfire deaths in 2025. The piece balances safety claims such as Zero Eyes detecting over 1,000 guns since 2023, with ACLU critiques noting 32% of teens feel constantly watched, eroding trust and underreporting issues. Evidence shows mixed results. Third-party studies praise weapon detection, but incidents like false alarms from a Doritos bag highlights biases, and that is crazy. A Doritos bag put out a false alarm? This is fueling debates on surveillance net impact in public schools exempt from privacy laws. All right, this next piece of news is from Market Watch. China's BYD just raised the bar on EV sales. Tesla may struggle to catch up. BYD reported 4.6 million new energy vehicle sales in 2025, including 2.25 million battery electrics, positioning it to surpass Tesla's projected 1.6 million deliveries and claim the top global spot for the first time. Tesla faced an 8% sales decline amid drops in China, over 8% through November, and Europe nearly 39% through November, while BYD captured 19.9% of the global EV market share in the first half of 2025 versus Tesla's 7.5%. The shift underscores China's rising dominance in EVs, with BYD's 1.05 million overseas sales highlighting export strength though both companies grapple with slowing domestic demand and intensifying competition, y'all. All right, let me run these numbers right quick for the $1 trillion tickers, y'all. This is the $1 trillion tickers broadcast. Shout out to everybody on YouTube Live and TikTok Live. NVIDIA is up over 3%, y'all, at 192.14. Apple is up almost 2% at 277.12. Google is up 2.25% at 320.21. Microsoft is down 0.5% at 481.14. Amazon is up over 1% at 233.42. Meta is up 0.25% at 661.40. AVGO is up over 3% at 357.44. Tesla is up almost 1% at 453.40. TSM is up almost 5%, y'all, at 318.23. Berkshire.B is down over 1% at 496.77. The VIX is down to 1465. That's almost a 2% drop on the VIX. SPY is up over 0.5% at 686.10. QQQ is up over 1% at 621.25. SPX is up over 0.5% at 6,885. And the NASDAQ 100 is up 1.25% at 25,530, y'all. All right, let's get into some more news. This next piece of news is more like motivation. It's from Aristotle Investments, the 8-figure trader under 30 years old. You should definitely check him out. It says, once you start getting money, you'll realize how much you keep. You'll realize it's about how much you keep, not how much you make. A person can literally make 20 million cash but have 2 million or less in savings. Why? Because once people get rich, cars, mansions, vacations, taking care of family, friends, taxes, employee expenses, and expensive eating habits come with it. For a person to have 20 million cash, they'll probably have to generate like 50 million plus. If a person has 100 million in cash or assets, they probably generated $500 million. So when you make $1 million plus, you won't actually have $1 million saved or liquid. You'll probably have $250,000 in cash, but you generated $1 million. Making money isn't the same as keeping it. All right. This next piece of news comes from the Master Investor. It says the top 10% of trading days produce 70% of annual market returns. That's why it's better to stay in the market. Stay invested, y'all. Because if you miss them days, you miss the returns big time. Okay, this next piece of news comes from Rashad from EYL. It's a minute 14 clip, y'all. Check it out.
You only code switch when you're not in a position of power. Elon Musk can curse on TV and it's okay. When I was working as a financial advisor in my office, everybody in my office was pretty much older white men. And in the beginning part of like the training, they will make you watch videos of yourself. Like we have like a practice sale. I never really realized that I actually had a New York accent until I actually watched myself speak. Then I started to realize it. And I kind of became a little self-conscious of how I spoke because I know that I didn't have the best diction. I know that, I had an accent and I didn't sound like anybody else in the office. But I realized that what I thought might have been a disadvantage was actually a superpower. And that's actually helped us is that there's millions of people that actually talk like I talk and relate to how I communicate as opposed to how somebody else communicates. Those people were left out of the conversation for a long period of time. So never run away from who you are, embrace who you are, because that's actually a superpower. Now, you do have to be intelligent, and it is important to have a strong mastery of the language that you speak. It's like you don't wear a jumpsuit to a wedding.
Real game, y'all. A real game from Rashad. Okay. This is motivation from Coach Prime, y'all, on Twitter. Let's see who can go the longest without entertaining or allowing any negativity to come out of your mouth or amongst your circle. This year, let's start deleting and dismissing all negativity and hateful things we encounter. Positive people have peace and purpose. Salute Coach Prime, man. Salute Coach Prime. Okay, this next clip comes from Robinhood CEO, y'all. Check it out.
What a way to end the year. During Hood holidays, we gave away $7 million in gifts, including a sports car and luxury handbags just for our Robinhood Gold members. Thank you all, And keep an eye out for the amazing products that we've been cooking and will be launching in the coming months. We think you'll love what we have in store. Cheers.
Yeah, I did get some of those products too. I got some Bitcoin, I got some Solana, and I got some Ripple, y'all. So shout out Vlad for giving me my first piece of crypto, because I was definitely not buying it in my own account. I do have exposure to crypto through IBIT, that's BlackRock's ETF, but I hadn't bought any personally. So shout out to that. Shout out to Vlad. Shout out to Robinhood. I do want to buy some shares. I think I'm going to wait until they hit 100 though. All right. Next piece of news. It's from Earn Your Leisure on Twitter. Google shares rose 65% in 2025. It's the best year since 2009. The stock outpaced gains from NVIDIA, Microsoft, and Apple, rebounding 116% from the April low of 144. By year end, Alphabet reached a market cap approximately $3.7 billion, y'all. All right, so this next piece of news is from Elon. It says Neuralink will start high volume production of brain-computer interface devices and move to a streamlined, almost entirely automated surgical procedure in 2026. Device threads will go through the Dura, that's D-U-R-A, without the need to remove it. This is a big deal. So once you get the Neuralink in your brain, you will never need to remove it. Wow. Would you get a chip in your brain? Would you get the Neuralink? Okay, maybe you wouldn't get it right now, but what if you was in a wheelchair? Or you had some type of other ailment that prevented something from working to its full capacity? Would you get the Neuralink chip then? What if regular people start getting a Neuralink chip and it made them smarter? Would you get it then? What if it increased your ability to learn faster and more? Would you get it then? I'm sure that is something that they're working on as well. Because just think, if you are the creator of Neuralink, and okay, you want to help people and you're already doing that, but if you could create a chip to make people smarter, how many people will want to buy that? And how much would you charge for it? You could probably charge $10,000 for that. You know what I mean, depending on how good it is. Even more than that, maybe 6 figures. I mean, only the rich people will buy it, but if it was $10,000, maybe some regular people will buy it too. But man, I wouldn't buy that. I would have to wait. I have to wait a few years and see what happens with everybody. All right. This next piece of news: J.P. Morgan's top picks for 2026, y'all. Google, AVGO, Eli Lilly, Visa, ExxonMobil, Caterpillar, Salesforce, Thermo Fisher, Citi, Disney, Charles Schwab, GE Vernova, AT&T, Boeing, Arista Networks, KLAC. I'm not reading all these, but yeah, you get the point. I gave you about 15 of them right there. All right. This next piece of news from Twitter. 5 companies best positioned for physical AI economy in 2026. It says the robotics economy is starting to look like cloud computing did a decade ago, where the hard part is no longer the software or the computing power, because those are getting cheaper and better every year, but it is now physical deployment. As AI models get better at reasoning and the cost of running them keeps falling, then robotics turn into a distribution problem. The companies that win will be the ones who control the data, the supply chains, the simulation tools used to train robots, and the places where those robots are deployed. That is where the real productivity gains come from, and those gains will reshape how work gets done over the next few decades. These are the companies best positioned to scale physical AI in the real world. Amazon, Tesla, Palantir, NVIDIA, Intuitive Surgical. Are you invested in any of those companies? Do you believe in the AI physical economy? If you do, then you should be invested in those companies. If you are not already, you should be looking to see what price point you are willing to get in. All right, back to Coach Prime. Happy, blessed, peaceful New Year. Let's reflect on last year's trials and make certain we refrain and not react to them the same way. You're better, wiser, more humble, thoughtful, and stable, and thankful. This new year is yours. Thank you for that motivation, Coach Prime. Thank you. All right, this is from Berkshire. The S&P 500 posted its third consecutive year of 15% plus gains, a streak that has now happened just 3 times in the history of the stock market, y'all. The other 2 times happened was a run up to the dot-com bubble and 2019 through 2021, y'all. Warren Buffett steps down as Berkshire Hathaway CEO after 60 years, and he delivered an astonishing, legendary, and this is why they call him the greatest of all time. He delivered a 5.5 million% return. That is insane. That is truly insane. All right. Yeah, so I thought this was important. So this is from Twitter. He said these are the ages of these businesses in 2026. So Tesla is actually 23 years old, y'all. Tesla is 23 years old. SpaceX, 24 years old. Google, 28 years old. Netflix, 29 years old. NVIDIA, 33 years old. Amazon, 32 years old. Apple, 50 years old. Microsoft, 51 years old. Intel, 58 years. Sony, 80 years. Samsung, 88 years. IBM, 115 years. Nintendo, 173 years. Nokia, 171 years, y'all. And you can see the $1 trillion tickers, they're in that 23 to 50 plus year range. So just like it takes humans on average 55 years to become millionaires, it took these companies around the same amount of time. Well, at least Apple and Microsoft took them 50 years to be trillion-dollar companies, multi-trillion-dollar companies. Though it took Tesla 23 years. So I just wanted to make that comparison. And if you're under 55 and you're not a millionaire yet, don't even trip, because the average millionaire is 55 years old. So you still got time. Run the bag up. Stay disciplined. Stay focused. Keep learning. And you'll be there, man. Don't even trip. All right. Let's see if we got anything else. It's almost time to go. This is Aristotle. First two trades of the year went crazy. Amazon up 100%. A-Lab up 42%. Aristotle cooking already, y'all. Aristotle is cooking already. All right. Let me run these prices one more time before we go. $1 trillion tickers. NVIDIA up 2.5% at 191.35. Apple up 1.5% at 276. Google up 1.5% at 317. Microsoft down almost 1.5% at 476. Amazon down almost 0.5% at 229. Meta down over 0.5% at 655. AVGO up over 3.25% at 357. Tesla up almost 0.25% at 450. TSM up almost 4.5% at 317. Berkshire.B down almost 0.75% at 498.9. The VIX is back up to 1492. SPY is up almost 0.5% at 684. QQQ is up almost 0.75% at 618. SPX is at 6,870, and the NASDAQ 100 at 25,426, y'all. All right. I got time for a quick, short song. So I got like this 2-minute song I'm finna play. I appreciate y'all tuning in to $1 trillion tickers. Shout out to my YouTube listeners live and the listeners that will listen later. Shout out to the TikTok listeners live, y'all. So this song is... Where's my YouTube music? If you want to check out some of my songs, you go on YouTube Music, search Matt Richards 510 AI Music. I got this fire song. It's about 2 minutes, y'all. Because it is the new year, we have to reflect on 2025. So this song is called Power in Reflection, y'all. I be making these deep records.
What's power without wisdom? What's wisdom without action? Let's get it. Before you leave the world, gotta meet yourself. And king ain't a king if his mind ain't right. Master your emotions, keep the vision tight. Every setback came to refine my soul. Pressure make diamonds, I embrace that role. They ain't teach us how to win, had to learn it solo. Every move strategic, never acting out of FOMO. Keep the blueprint, I've been building on a solid base. Study all the legends, learn the game and run my race. Wisdom reigns supreme, gotta see within. Took a couple L's, now I play to win. They say power comes from knowledge, so I study deep. Looking in the mirror, yeah, that's where the lessons speak. You can't break a man who done faced this truth. Turn pain into wisdom, now speaks with proof. Ain't no shortcuts, had to earn my stripes. Now my vision stays sharp, I control my life. You can't run from pain, gotta face that fight. Wisdom in the dark, help you shine that light. Wisdom reigns supreme, gotta see within. Took a couple L's, now I play to win. They say power comes from knowledge, so I study deep. Looking in the mirror, yeah, that's where the lessons speak. Wisdom reigns supreme, gotta see within. Took a couple L's, now I play to win. They say power comes from knowledge, so I study deep. Looking in the mirror, yeah, that's where the lessons speak. If you ain't working on you, you ain't working for real. Growth ain't easy, but it's necessary. It's controlling yourself. Real power ain't controlling others, it's controlling yourself. This willpower ain't controlling others, it's controlling yourself.
That's it, y'all. I'm gonna turn this thing off. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm gonna answer that question in the chat later because I gotta go to work. But appreciate you for tuning in. If you put that question in the comments, then I'll definitely be able to get back to it. But I got to go to work right now, so I got to cut it off. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all have a great day. You know what I mean? Stay focused on your New Year's resolutions. If you haven't made any, do better as far as health, physical fitness, financial literacy, start a business. You know what I mean? Just keep learning. Read more books, listen to more podcasts, listen to audiobooks. You know what I mean? Pray more, meditate more. Be your best self. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial